been a wonderful, extraordinary Shabbat, and I can't thank my dear friend, my brother, Reb Shlomo Safra. It's hard that an Ashkenazi has a Sephardi for a brother, but it works out. And, I really feel so close to so many of you, and I'm so honored that I had the opportunity to spend the Shabbat. Especially last night, we went to the condominiums and also spoke to the wonderful people there. I appreciate that you came. And this is going to be, just for a few moments, my closing thoughts. The last din in Shulchan Aruch, the last halacha in Orach Chaim. Orach Chaim is the part where we deal with the daily laws. There is a very interesting question. And the question is asked, what do you do on Adar Rishon? We know that in the Jewish calendar, sometimes there are two Adars. There's the first Adar and the second Adar. Purim is always in the second Adar, on the 14th day of the second Adar. But what do you do on the first month of Adar, on the 14th day? Should you make a Suda or not? Should you make a party? Because after all, the 14th day of Adar is special. But it's not so special that year, because after all, Purim is going to be in the second Adar. So the Ramah says, the last words in the Shulchan Aruch, in Orach Chaim, Yarbek tzad b'suda, don't worry, make a party, it's good, make a party. Why? And he brings the pasuk, Tov lev mishte tamid. The one who has a good heart, oh, life's a party. Want to know what life's a party? Yes, Louis, he'll tell you. Life's a party. Right? You can always be happy. So if you can make another party, why not? Tov lev mishte tamid. So the Sharei Tshuva says something so great on the bottom of the commentary. He says, look what the Ramah did. He ended the Shulchan Aruch with these words. Tov lev, the one who has a good heart, mishte tamid, life's a party. You know how he started Shulchan Aruch? Look up in Siman Aleph. What the Ramah's first words are. Shivisi Hashem l'negdi samid. Hashem should always be in front of me. So he ended Tov lev mishte tamid. He started Shivisi Hashem l'negdi samid. Zok the Sharei Tshuva, something genius. He says that's what it means in the Shemona Esrei of Yom Tov. We say Shnei Simidin Yehil Chasam. You're supposed to have two Timidin, two constant things. The constant thing, God is always in front of us, but also be happy. Life is a party. Life should be happy. And as we approach now Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot, that's the answer. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, that's Shivisi Hashem l'negdi samid. That's the serious part. And then comes Sukkot, and that's Tov lev mishte tamid. And that's the purpose of this Shabbat. This Shabbat was the combination of both things. Shivisi Hashem l'negdi samid. We saw Hashem so many times in the speeches that the young men spoke, the young women spoke, everything that we did, the prayers that we did together, the singing, everything was Shivisi Hashem l'negdi samid. We sang holy songs, but there was so much fun. There was singing. I mean, last night, you know, with the guitar and the bonfire and all the food and all the friendship and the hugging and the friendship, it's amazing. That's what life is all about. This is what Judaism is all about. That combination, Shivisi Hashem l'negdi samid and Tov lev mishte tamid. So I just want to end with this story. A great, great story. And you will never, ever daven Rosh Hashanah the same after you hear this. Listen to this. 2 years ago, I was in Florida. There was a rabbi who had been there already 10 years, and they made a big anniversary Shabbat for him. His name is Rabbi Ephraim Goldberg. But he has an assistant. His assistant is Rabbi Philip Moskowitz. And wherever I go, people say, want to hear a story? Everybody wants to tell me a story, which is great. That's how the books get written, as I told you before from Charles Abulafia. So the assistant Rabbi Philip Moskowitz tells me this story. He had a cousin that lived in Israel that was not religious at all. And he went to a school, not even a Mamlachti Dati school, no religious school at all. He knew there was such a thing as Shabbat, he knew there was such a thing as Torah, but he never studied it. But he knew he was Jewish, but he never studied anything. And right after when he finished high school, he went to the army. And after he finished the army, today, there is so much stress on young fellows in the army that they go after the army, they go to all crazy places. They go to Thailand, and they go to India, all kinds of foreign places. And that's why when the tsunami hit, there were so many Israelis that were there, because they go to these faraway places to chill out. So this guy went to Mumbai in India. And the longer he was away from Israel, and the longer he was away from Judaism, he just dropped everything. Dropped everything. And one night, he was there already a year and a half. One night he's sitting in a bar, in a pub, and he's drinking beer or whiskey together with his Goyish friends. It's 8 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden, he hears a shofar outside. The sound of a shofar. Now the Goyim didn't know what a shofar is, but he knew what a shofar was. Now a shofar can be very scary, but when you're not expecting it, it's terrifying. Who's blowing shofar? What's going on here? And he runs outside, and there's so many people out there because the whole street was filled with bars and pubs, and everybody was drinking and making noises outside. He's thinking, who's blowing shofar? And he's looking around, and 2 minutes later, at the end of the block, again he hears the shofar. Who's blowing shofar in India? He was so frightened, he was so shaken. He runs home, he opens up his calendar in the apartment, and he sees that that day was Yom Kippur. And he didn't even know it. And he makes some calls, and he realized that that was the Chabad Shliach that was blowing shofar to tell everybody that the fast was over, and that they could go eat or go back to work or do whatever they want. Well, when he realized that he had fallen so far that he didn't even know that it was Yom Kippur, he sat down and he started crying. He couldn't stop crying. How could he fall so far? He didn't even know it was Yom Kippur. You're not going to believe the next part of the story. The next part of the story, the next morning, he packs his bags, doesn't tell anybody, he makes reservations, and he goes back to Israel. He comes into his house, to his father and his mother. He says, Abba and Ima, I'm going to a yeshiva. They said, what yeshiva? What are you, crazy? You never were in a yeshiva in your life. He said, Abba, if I could fall so far that I didn't even know that it was Yom Kippur, I got to try a yeshiva. And for the next 10 years, he was in not only that yeshiva, but other yeshivot. He became religious. He got married. He just had his 5th child. And he's a very religious person. So Philip Moskowitz, his cousin, told me, he said, you know, when I heard this story, I realized something about the prayers of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur that I never understood, and now I understand it. It tells us, in Nisana Tokef, you say Nisana Tokef, right? Everybody here says Nisana Tokef. Listen to the words that we say. V'siftach es sefer hazichronot. God is going to open up the book of all the memories. You may have forgotten, but God doesn't forget. And He's going to watch the video with you. Ume'elav yikareh. It's going to read like a video by itself. Everything that you did, all your life, it's right there. The video is there, whether you see it or not. V'choisem yad kol odom boy. The hand of everyone is going to sign it. So Rabbi Moskowitz said, what does it mean, the hand of everyone? The hand of the person who's watching the video with Hashem. He's going to sign. He signs off. This is what I did. He said, no. He said, that Chabad Shliach, he will never know how much influence he had by blowing that shofar on my cousin. And my cousin will probably never meet him. He said, but after 120 years, when they look at the book of my cousin, of how he changed, you know whose signature is going to be in his book? The Lubavitcher, the Chabad Shliach. That's V'choisem Yad Kol Odom Boy. Every person who ever had influence on your life, his signature is going to be in your book. And he said, that's what our goal is. Our goal is not only to inspire other people that we sign their books, but we have to come close to great rabbis and great people that could inspire us, and they could sign our book. So we have to go out and try to sign other books, other people's books, and we have to get close to those people that could sign our books. And I was so moved by that. I told it every place. And last year I was in Bergenfield in New Jersey. And after I finished telling the story, it was between the Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur and Shabbos Shuvah. A man comes over to me, Sam Levy. He says, Rabbi, you got the story wrong. I said, I got the story wrong? What do you mean? I always do research. He said, no, that boy didn't learn 10 years in the yeshiva. In those yeshiva, he learned 13. I said, how do you know? He said, because he's my son-in-law. Imagine that? It's Sam Levy's son-in-law. That's how I know that he had the 5 kids. And that's what Makom is all about. We come to Makom in all the places so that we should be inspired by them. And they sign our books. After 120 years, Shlomo's signature, Rabbi Weinman, all the tzaddikim there, their signatures are going to be in our books. But what we have to do, we leave here, we have to go out and inspire others and make sure that our signature is in their book. And that's the bracha that we give to each other. You know, when you finish a Masechta, when you finish a Gemara, you know what you say, Hadran alach, you say it 3 times. What does the word Hadran alach mean? It doesn't mean we finished. It means we're coming back. Hadran alach Masechta Bava Kama. Bava Kama, don't worry. We may have finished, we're coming back. And that's what we say today. We say Hadran. Hadran means not goodbye, we're coming back. We're going to see each other again. Maybe at a Shalom conference, maybe at the Olami conference, or maybe Hidabrut in New York, who knows? But we're going to see each other again. What?
Maybe next year.
Next year, Hidabrut is next week.
No, I say.
Oh, next week? Oh, yeah. You invite me, I'll come non-stop this time, yeah. Learn my lesson. But anyway, I just want to tell you that I love all of you. I'm going to miss you. I feel so close to so many of you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos. I was telling Rabbi Weinman and the tzaddik from Argentina that I feel so humble in front of all of you. I was watching some guys pray. I was watching some guys say Berchat HaMazon. I'm telling you. I was inspired, really. I hope I inspired some of you, but I'm telling you, you inspired me. And I say to all of you, Hadran, we should come back, we should see each other again, wherever it is. And let's remember more than anything else, let's go out of here with a commitment that we're going to sign other people's books. And we are going to try to become next to great people so that they can sign our books. And in that way, the book of life, and the book of Simcha, and the book of Refuah, and the book of Yeshuot, and Nechamot, that's what Hashem will sign for all of us, that we should have the greatest year ever. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Pessoal, super obrigado por tudo. É um zebut muito grande. De novo, eu gostaria de agradecer os rabinos que participaram. Sem vocês não teríamos feito nada. Na verdade, é uma participação, como eu digo sempre, durante o ano todo. Obrigado por estarem juntos, por a gente estar nesse time que funciona, graças a Deus. Obrigado por todas as pessoas que participaram, que vieram aqui, dividiram com a gente essa alegria tão grande. Os jovens que ajudaram a gente a fazer também o final de semana. E se Deus quiser, como o Camilo disse, quem sabe a gente não vai só no ano que vem. Quem sabe a gente consegue fazer isso o mais rápido possível. Ótimo final de domingo. O hotel está livre para vocês. Aproveitem, usem, abusem. Um beijo grande e boa volta para São Paulo. Tchau, tchau.